And that's when it hit me to say, just because somebody else is a professional and have accreditation or whatever they're doing, doesn't mean that whatever they say, you can just put it by the Bible. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another vlog. This week, today, not this week, I'm used to weekly videos, but now I've forgotten that I've committed to daily vlogs for the month or two. So what I did is last night I stayed up converting all the videos into podcasts and putting them on Spotify. I think it was Spotify, it was Apple Music. It was quite a few that I was working on and putting on all my content in. And then I realized one thing, that I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. I realized that um, some of the audio was good for video, but it wasn't so much for when you start to convert it into a podcast, because the audio was just something else. So what I did is I started using mic testing mics. And sometimes when you have this high standard of what your content should look like, and you realize that when it gets to the other side, it's a little bit something in me wanted, the perfectionist in me wanted to redo everything, make sure that they are in good shape, in good order. I go out there and I redo, and I listen to them and I redo. Then I picked up one thing, that I won't be authentic anymore, because I will be recording based on what I feel today, not based on what I felt the time that I created the video. So I just apologies, guys. We're gonna have about 70 episodes if you are on a podcast with very very horrible quality. But over that, then I'm going to be spending time and investing on mics, make sure that you can actually hear us quite nicely. But I must say, the feeling of creating everything else into a podcast is quite, it's a different feeling, I must say. I never thought that you know I would go all the way to even creating podcasts, but here I am creating podcasts and stuff like that. I did the school run, and for today, what I have lined up was just one project in particular that I'm just supposed to do the read up on, and then go back and then have to convert all the videos into audio version. What I'll do is, if you go into a podcast, you'll realize that I did not land all of them in one go, because I'm converting like a few videos a day. So what you'll see is you might start seeing a few videos landing today, and a few in a few days time from there, and then you get that rhythm. But if you do get to that point, just be patient with me. The latest ones will come a bit later. I'm just trying to make the chronological order, that if you were to listen, you can start on how we started in 2021 up until today, so you just don't jump the journey. Like I said in the first video, we wanted to also include the journey of what does it take for you to become an analyst. And I think those are quite important key takeaways that we have to include. But nice part about, I think I was able to publish on two that are verified. Spotify is there, and Apple Music is there. They are live. The other one is on Amazon Music. I put it on. I didn't check if it was live. I haven't listened to it. I haven't followed myself on there. And another one is, if you are on Plex and stuff, I also subscribe to that, but I haven't tested that it is working. So if you have tested and you've seen it with your local um, whatever your favorite podcasting channel, just let me know. Leave a comment below to say yes, I saw it's working. And then maybe you can comment on the audio quality. Maybe I'm beating myself out here for no reason. Um, and if you're willing to say I'm gonna wait for the latest video with a better quality, just let me know. What I did, the nice part about doing it on Spotify is I also included a little quiz. So in every video, when we're talking about a concept, I get a feel, instead of you waiting to comment, and sometimes you're waiting to comment, and sometimes you're on the road, you can't comment and stuff like that. There's just a little poll that will say which of this following concept do you think are more relevant, maybe in your area or in your workplace. So you can just pick one, two, three, and then that's it. And I think it's a beautiful thing. So what I'm gonna do now is I'll catch up with you a bit later, maybe at the end of the day. The day just started. This is my 9 to 1 o'clock, just starting now, and yeah, we'll just see what the rest of the day look like. I'm actually in the parking lot at the dental center. Um, I just went to do my dental on it, and there's something else that I picked up that I wanted, to just share a little bit here. So over some time, there's this other I don't know how to pronounce this disease, but apparently it's a disease of the gums that can actually go into the bones. So what it does is, this disease is easily curable. That's what the dentists are telling us. Just brush your teeth. That's what they say. But it turns out that I've been losing my teeth due to this disease. Teeth just become loose, and then I put on the braces for a long time. And then, now I lost a tooth here because of such a disease. Reason why I'm doing this is not to explain about the disease. It's to explain that in 2009, when I went and they told me, because initially I went when I was still in Velcom in my high school days, and they told me to say, it's quite expensive to fix your teeth because of this disease. When you get enough money, come over, but still wash your teeth twice a day. We know that whole thing. So I wash my teeth twice a day, like everybody else does. Change the toothbrush, get the thin one. We did that, like what everybody else does. But it turns out this orthodontist of mine was telling me, you know what, you should get this medicine. It's called Endolex. You must use it all this other time. So I went. Some other time I went to a dentist. Some other time I was like, I'm losing my teeth. They're getting loose. So he said, no, you're not supposed to use Endolex for a long time, for a prolonged period. I'm like, what do you mean? I've been using Endolex C from 2009 all the way to 2018. It's like, no, you can use, there's now toothpaste that you can use to just brush your teeth. That's quite easy. And now I went, the other time to go to a dentist just for normal, we become that loyal. We're thinking, hey, I'm gonna save my teeth. Let me go to the dentist. They say at least once a year, so it's good to go twice, but once a year is still also good. So I went to the dentist. Now when I get here, they're sending me to an oral hygienist. They're like, no, oral hygienist. I'm like, what is that? So long story short, he sent me to also to a dentist to look at how can I close off all these gaps with dentures or whatever, crowns, whatever the tapes is. Now when I get to the dentist, I'm like, I just paid the other side. Now I'm coming to see another person. Why did I see that one? Because all along, the dentist brushes my teeth. They're like, no, a dentist doesn't do a good job brushing your teeth. Your disease will still continue. I'm like, what do you mean? I've been losing my teeth because of going to a dentist. And that's when it hit me to say, just because somebody else is a pro, it's a professional, and have accreditation or whatever they're doing, it doesn't mean that whatever they say, you can just put it
by the Bible to say, oh, it's good, the dentist said it, oh, the doctor said it, it's all good. It doesn't mean that, because sometimes you can really, take out bad behaviors because somebody gave you a horrible advice in their own field. This is in the medical field. I'm an analyst. I give out, and it made me realize, reflect on stuff. Sometimes I might be giving out bad advices, um, because I don't tell it to say it's only available for a small period. You can use Endolex, but not for so many years. I mean, my groceries. Every time when we buy groceries, there was Endolex C going in there. There you go into Discam, Clicks Farmers. Anyway, I already knew even the specials. Oh, you get 2 for 1. They're telling me no, that's the medicine. You don't use it all the time. And I feel I'm this day old that I feel like, yeah, I've been having bad advices for a long time, and it's funny that bad advice didn't help the situation. With my swollen gums, my bone still got finished, and then the teeth just goes out. It's like scurvy. It's like very very difficult. But it's based on bad advice. If I had good advice, it's not even say if I had the money, because you got the money, but it's just you're not getting the good advice. Um, because it was just based on where I was. If you are consulting in, I was consulting in downtown Johannesburg because of convenience. That's where I worked at the time. Um, it is totally different advice compared to where I stay now and the type of advice that I'm getting. I feel like I should have saved my tooth. Not because of the money, but because of the different type of advice I should be getting. So yeah, so now I'm gonna head out to from here. I'm gonna head out to another place. Just gonna see if they can fix a car or two, a car, Olaratos one. The car just stopped working after we put on fuel. We put on a full tank of diesel, but it turns out that somebody diluted the diesel. But nobody wants to take responsibility. We took it. It was just after service. Nobody wants to take responsibility. And now I'm just getting a third opinion, a third quote, so that we can send it to the financier, to the bank, to say, do we write off the car or do they help us sell it? It's a horrible financial stench that we're gonna go into, and I think that's one of the reasons why we even starting this series of marriage and money with Olerato, because we really wanna go into understanding bad advices that we get, um, and things that are just happening and they somehow impact your marriage, and they impact your marriage. And that's where we're sitting. It's another thing. But yeah, let me just jump up there and then we'll chat.